Hello. Hello. Can I get some sound? For some reason my mic was like not responding at first. It appears okay now. Do we have confirmation of that? Excel Poker, what's up? Astrobait, Nils. Yeah, I don't know. I've like streamed like the last 4 weeks without that happening, but it's really funny. I had this funny feeling that the mic would be like not turned on, and it wasn't. All right, ambulances. Yeah, usually we're a couple minutes late. Thursday. Thursday's stream runs a little late starting. We've got game analysis for the subscribers. Got my game. No, Bijak, we never get your game. I have to hunt. I have to look for it manually. Nils just did what? He gifted 2 tier 1 subs to the community. Uncle J and Archaic. Hi Ripun. We got your game. I have it in the inbox. I don't understand. I mean, it's like Arsenal fan, Sumahair. Certain players, they just like their messages. I don't get a notification when they send me something. I don't understand why that is. Just some of you, and I don't understand. Cannot explain it. But I can put this in the study. Now, we have a complication. Ripun says, today I submitted a very cool game. Ripun, you already had a game in. Your game was the first one on the list. Are you kidding me? Or not? Am I wrong? Is that not your game? Tell me if it's not your game. Yeah, I submitted. You submitted it 2 weeks back, but not today. So, what game do you want to do? Do you want to do this game against Flamingo Poop? Or do you want to change it to a different game? Mills just... Yes. That's like an Asterbait answer. You want to keep the same game? Alright. We've got a little complication that there are a couple of games that were submitted in studies that I cannot, like, grab them and put them into this study. So, we've got Arsenal, the first one, Mule Skinner, and Husky. Husky's game is in. Okay, so it's just Arsenal and Mule Skinner. Those 2 games I have to access separately from the study for the games. I'm almost certain there's someone else out there who submitted a game that I did not notice. Nils, your game is in there. It's not in there? Oh, your game too, dummy. Nils. But you're a special exception. Nils just donated 2 subs to the stream. That would bump you up to first, but now you called me dummy. I don't know. Am I on the right screen? All right. I don't know. Dummy might drop you down to second on the list or something like that. It's depending if you meant dummy in an affectionate way. Anyway, yeah, it's a bad game anyway. Let's just get it over with. We'll do Nils's game first. He he did specifically request with a donation. My submission game too. Oh, he sent me study separately. Okay. Got it. Study, I invited you. Where the hell is your study, man? Damn it, where is that? Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here it is. So we're going to do this. We're going to make an exception, taking him out of order. Game from memory, lost score sheet. Wow. Flip it up. Black to move. Black on the bottom. Welcome everybody to the stream. We're going over subscriber games. Alright, Nils is black. E4, E5. The Scotch. Are we going to see one of Astrobate? Astrobate's played some nice games this week. He is a genius. Astrobate, have you had your IQ tested? Alright, D4. I was looking at this today. Just, it's terrible, but it's hard to come up with creative moves. Anyway, Egashegedre, everybody. We're having our first beer for Thursday. After work. It's work and after work for me. Alright, we go into the Scotch. Nils is kind of a mainline kind of guy. He's a trendsetter. He follows the latest fashions. So E takes D4, Knight takes D4, Knight F6. I'm not gonna like waste a lot of time recommending offbeat variations. I like this. Not because it's good, because weaker players don't know how to play against it. I don't recommend it maybe at the master level, but if you're an amateur player playing against the Scotch, against someone under 2200 on lichess, this move pretty much takes them out of book. Basically playing, you're basically playing, you know, a Vienna game, like a Mises variation or whatever, tempo down, but I still think it's a dynamic way to play. So Knight F6, Knight C3, Nils goes into, you know, the super lame, not Nils, not your fault, but this is so lame. That's a major problem with playing Knight F6 too, you know. Now you have to worry about Knight C3, yawn. That's almost like a good enough reason to play Bishop C5 alone. No, but I mean this is not a problem. We're happy to equalize. I was thinking about something, yeah, what's the deal with this? Nils probably hasn't played this as a move. What is that called? Schmid defense? Or is that something else? Does anybody know this, theoretically? Like, I mean, you can equalize with Bishop B4. Or you can just play this like random move for no reason. I'm not sure what Black's trying to do. Like play for a draw or lose or, you know, what the deal is there. Is Black playing for the full point with that move? Anyways, here. Now. Snuggles the Snail, welcome. Long time no see. Great to see you back with us. Nils plays D5. And then his opponent doesn't take. Very rare to see the not taking on D5. You went to check your IQ yesterday, but unfortunately the machine exploded. That's why I always tell people I have bad posture because my brain is really heavy. Something like that. It's hard to keep it up. You know, hold it up straight. Nils, do you know this line? E takes D5, castles. That's like all the rage now. Not that it's really important, like how you play against the four knights game, but not four knights game, but the four knights Scotch. I mean, the weak player could do something crazy like take here. There's this Mitkov game from 1997. Or Candela, I don't know what he was thinking. He like was a decent player, but you gotta be You gotta be like nuts to like take that pawn. So it's like a modern move order. Well, there's no reason not to play this though. I mean, the point of this castles is that white can only go wrong. You know, you're only giving yourself. You see what I'm saying? You can only like benefit from this move order. There is no downside. In other words, you're just giving white an additional way to go wrong. So it's a good move order. All right. Anyways, d5, queen e2. Okay, I'm out of book. So, okay, we can destroy our pawn structure to try to gain the bishop pair. We can play d4, going to some kind of d4 a3 complication, which also would segment our pawn structure. I'm going to guess that black's answer here is castle. And welcome to your queen on the open file. You know, without spending too much time analyzing this, I mean, it seems to me like this is the refutation to punish him here. It's very tempting to play something else like that or d4, but I have the feeling, and that's just my intuition, that's not enough. If this is an over-the-board game, I was just telling someone about this today. You can't make a decision based on just your intuition unless you're in time pressure. You know, you need to be more disciplined and calculate. So we're going to calculate. No, this isn't over the board. I'm just saying, Ripun. I'm just saying, I try to teach like I'm trying to teach like I'm training you to play in an over the board tournament. The real chess world is over the board for me. So I'm approaching it that way. Oh, Nils, it is over the board. Okay. It's not that it really matters. I don't care if it's over the board or not. You're right. It is over the board. I forgot. You told us you were playing in your first over the board. Yeah, you castled. It looks right. So let's see. Nils, do they have like a national rating system? Or do they just use FIDE ratings in the Netherlands? Castles is the best. So I was able to reach that conclusion by... Isn't that interesting? I was able to reach the conclusion that Castles is the best based on intuition and general principles. And then when you crunch the numbers with the computer, it comes out exactly that Castles is the best move. And the other moves... Well, actually, d4 is not even on the radar. I suppose it's playable, though. d4, a3. We don't want to lose the bishop pair, you know, for nothing. National rating. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to see what the Oracle would say. So Castles is right. You know, I think this guy's going to end up like losing a tempo where, you know, he's going to have to move his queen off the e-file, right? But it might be worse than that. There's no time for queen f3 now. Bishop takes c3 and then pawn takes e4 and you win a piece. This is a serious problem. e5 looks overextended. So, you know, like, okay, last resort. It's ugly, but he can play f3. If he has to. I mean, it's viable, right? He doesn't really want to do that, but if he has to, he has to. So white instead plays an interesting move, bishop f4. So he's basically like, okay, I'll just lose a pawn. But that's okay, because if you do this and take this, it's ops-colored bishops. This bishop's pretty good. Okay, let's say like worst case scenario. This didn't happen in the game, but the issue is ops-colored bishops. Pressure on c7. One extra pawn. The chance of black getting blockaded on the dark squares. How much does your extra doubled pawn, extra pawn, let's say, matter here? Yeah, I mean, bishop g5 is the other major question. But I'm not sure what you're supposed to do here. I'm not sure if bishop c3 was the right reaction. But obviously bishop g5 is another story. I mean, clearly you could play h6 to start with. This is a very risky, g5 is not really on my radar. You can do it. You can do it. I mean, you can do this, and this, and this, and this. And then the question is, does white have compensation for the sacrificed pawn? Very likely he does. Because this is also kind of dicey. Slightly dicey. I mean, obviously this queen is probably going to get trapped now. But still, no guarantees. So I don't know. I don't like it that much. Bishop g5 objectively probably is better. But I wonder if you have something better than bishop takes c3 here. Let's open our minds a little bit. And we've got to consider this. Doesn't look that effective, though. I mean, clearly there's e5. It's really confusing. Man, you've got to consider everything here. I mean, even d4. I'm not loving this. Yeah, I mean, so you chose this safe, sort of simple way. No, I mean, I think you might, you might be making a mistake. Is there something better? So there is this. I miss this. I mean, it's ugly from this sense of pawn structure. I didn't think you had this. I thought this was okay for white. But the computer says that it's bad for white, and that white has to play bishop c4. So this is important. How does it work? I didn't let the computer run long enough to check the variation. I mean, I'm looking at stuff like this. Obviously f5, queen c4 check, bishop e6, queen takes b4, rook takes e4. So let's go with it. f5. Damn. Check. Yeah, I made an illegal move. This isn't good. Alright, illegal moves don't work. I can't play rook takes e4. That's why I suck at blindfold chess. Anyway. We have bishop f5. We must calculate all the forcing moves. So here, I mean, let's see. f3, takes, check. But our structure is like mangled. I mean, it's hard to say like black is winning here, for sure. With the mangled structure. What am I missing? Knight e4, bishop e4, queen e7. So you have to calculate that. Damn. Defending b4. I didn't see it. Maybe I would have seen it in a tournament game, but there's a lot going on here. I like this better than what happened in the game. I feel like opposite color bishops gives him like significant chances to draw. I would rather not give him a straightforward opposite color bishop situation here. That's my objection to why shouldn't I just take the pawn. Because he has legitimate drawing chances. Maybe you have something better, and you probably do. The engine says takes here, bishop c4, but I mean, this is different. This is a huge central pawn up with all the pieces on the board. I like this better than, but you have to be able to see that. Even I didn't calculate it. Takes, I just totally missed it. There's also this. That doesn't work, right? So he has to take this way, and he loses immediately to take queen e7 with the threat of f5, and white is lost. White is losing a piece. Anyway, all right. So you played the way that most people would have played it in a blitz game, presumably, but kind of, taking the easy way out. I didn't inherently see that tactic. You have the feeling something's there, but it would take me like 5 minutes to calculate it, if I got it right. But this is ridiculous. I mean, come on now. This guy, he has obstacle or bishop chances to draw. You're threatening knight g3. You gotta take, right? It's a knight on e4. Take. This sucks. So you have to play rook takes. And now his bishop is hanging. So it's a question of d2. You also have bishop a6 in some lines. Maybe not that great. Let's say queen f3. Queen f3, this is hanging. If you're attacking him here, I'm fine with obstacle bishops. But it's not. It's like a pawn up sort of thing, which isn't that great. The initiative is what really matters here. And it's not clear that extra pawn is going to be enough to win the game. But this guy's decision is just ridiculous. c4. He has bishop takes h7 check. So knight g3, bishop h7 check, king h8. Exactly. So what happened in the game? He didn't calculate like king h8 or something, just assumed you would take. He just assumed you would take on h7. Right, and this is the point now. I mean, you also have f8, but I guess king h8, and you're winning the exchange. So what now? Queen d3? I mean, he has some kind of compensation. Probably not enough. Oh, no. Wow. Yeah, man, I missed it too. Damn. We all thought you were going to take his rook, and you faked them out with an e2 check. I'm not missing that in a real game, but... So he just can't take on h7. And you're just winning the exchange. Okay, so he should have played like queen f3, giving you the exchange. But I mean, c4 was a terrible mistake. Nice job by Nils tactically. Knight e2 check here. What? Did I miss something? Excuse me? Oh, this works too? Yeah, but why? Why play king takes h7? That's kind of nuts. Can you look at the line with king h7 instead of king h8? Oh, you actually like that? Oh, you have something here with knight f5? How does that work? How does this work? Knight e4? Is that the point? f3? Wait, so what? So you don't really want to play g4? Yeah, I don't really want to wake up in the morning either. But whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. Do you have something here? You're gonna win the... What do you have? g5? Rook e4? You have queen h4? Bishop g3, queen g4. Wow. Yeah, that's hard to spot. But it wins. Okay. An alternative. But it's like they both win. Bishop takes h7. I mean, his last move was losing. They both win. I wouldn't risk it, man. You want to keep it simple. I think, you should take here. No? I don't like my knight chilling on e2 when I could just swap pieces. You're going to lose f7, queen f7, king h7, f7. I mean, you're winning. This doesn't matter. He has one pawn for a piece. I mean, this is totally lost for white. Yeah, I think this is easier. I don't like my knight, like, kind of weird out there on e2. I'm sure that you're probably winning anyway. Bishop e3, d4, blah, blah, blah. You have bishop a6. Yeah, so you traded now. I mean, I guess he probably doesn't have anything he could have done. I mean, here, you're still probably winning, right? It's unnecessary. You're allowing, like, unnecessary complication. So, alright. Rook d1. You're totally a piece up. Oh my god. So it's like bishop a6 resigns. You just dropped a rook in an exchange up. I mean, a piece up position, you dropped the whole rook. Dude, and he didn't see it. Were you guys just playing too fast or something? Did you see it? That you were dropping a rook? I remember watching some of my teammates do stuff like that. Now I can't believe you hung it again. Dude, that's comic. He does it again. It's not enough that he blundered it once. He had to blunder it twice. So obviously you didn't see it the first time. No, I want you to have a rook. I mean, at least now he got a pawn for it, though. Black has a pawn for the exchange. I mean, even with an exchange of queens, bishop a6, rook e1, bishop c4, I would be surprised if there's some practical chances here for black. I'm not really excited to trade queens, so I understand what you did. He's excited to trade queens. He's obviously relatively weak. Bishop f5. Take with tempo. But now rook d2, you have bishop a4 clinging to your pawns. I mean, I don't know if you have enough compensation. Maybe. I think he should have kept his rook, in the center. Tried to play something there. Rook c1 doesn't do anything. And now, I mean, your bishop's a little out of play. This is natural, but you got to be careful he doesn't take over the open file. You're going to lose a pawn, obviously. Playing for mate. He played g3. I mean, clearly the guy might still be alive after rook g1. g3 is like lights out. Yeah, that was pretty awful. I mean, seriously, the first half of the game was okay. Wow. Alright, Nils. I think you're a little rusty. The master of tactics. Leonard, good game. Alright, next game. We're going in order now. Thanks, Nils, for sharing. back to the study. That was fun though, watching you drop the rook twice and then winning the game anyway. I've got Ripun first on the list against Flamingo Poop. I'm gonna try to sync this. Ripun is white. Arsenal fan, welcome. You're not on the list because your study won't, go into my study, but you are on the list. You're actually 6th on the list here. You're just invisible. Is Yabatis here today? He should be around, but he's on lichess probably, but he's locked out of his for complicated reasons. He's locked out of his Twitch account. Send the game to me, okay? He can't log into Twitch to chat, but I think he's on watching the stream probably. So, Ripun with G3. I feel like you play well tactically. Why the G3? Ripun, you should go with normal stuff. No? Okay, it's fine. Some people feel this is the King's Indian attack is better against the E6 type of setups. I'm not sure if that's true. Club. Speaking of clubs, I don't know if I'll be playing for my club or not. I'm on the list, but no one's contacted me yet. I haven't heard any word about negotiations. I haven't entered any agreements with anyone. Alright, standard King's Indian attack. This is an interesting position. I had this against, like, Hey It's Miro or someone. Isn't D4 a legit move? Can white play C4 after knight C6? Yeah, but it's not great. You don't want to play C4 after G3. After G3 and knight F3. My question is, isn't D4 good? It's the big blind. C4 is in the big blind. Yeah, but I mean your setup is not ideal. It's fine if you can guarantee D4. But you don't want to have your knight like blocking your bishop and your f pawn in a closed position, in a Botanik setup. Basically Arsenal. You're heading for some kind of Botanik setup where you put your knight on the wrong square. If you're guaranteed to play like D4, knight to C4 transpose to an open, it would be okay. I don't think the C4 is great. This is the question. But it's not that great, probably. Alright. Only if he plays G6. So I think that Ripun should play Bishop G2. Because a lot of people are going to mess up and play this. And now D4 is very strong. No. But just give him a chance to make a mistake here. Because I did this in a blitz game with black. This is an inaccurate variation where black is slightly worse. Probably. In this case, he has like Swiss cheese on the dark squares. I mean, I think this has got to be slightly better for white. So I'm just saying, there's no benefit in you playing D3. Give him a chance to go wrong. It's like Nils. There's really no disadvantage in playing Bishop G2, and there's only a chance he can go wrong. D3 cuts that out. Now he can't really go wrong. Feigl played this against me. He played D4 here. This is in Dvoretsky's Secrets of Opening Preparation. You can play it down a tempo, and it's still good for white. I can't remember what happened against Feigl. It was like 25 years ago. I either lost or drew. Probably I lost. With black. But actually Dvoretsky analyzes this in a very good book of his. One of his first teaching books. Probably my favorite. Secrets of Chess Tactics would be my favorite. But I mean, I'm not that big on his endgame manual, but I like Dvoretsky's early books. Anyways, Black just plays the standard French setup. Knight bd2. So this is also a move. You can play Queen e2. Here. Standard King's Indian attack. Bobby Fischer versus Mag Mercerin from my 60 memorable games. What's the idea of Queen e2? Well, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, like, this is not always an exciting move for white. I guess with Queen e2, there are some weird lines where you delay moving the knight. Maybe even like take on d5 sometimes. But I'm not an expert. It's also played oftentimes by white playing a different move order. It's not a big deal. Now rook e1. This is interesting. Okay, I'm out of my depth now. I've never seen a5. Queen e2 is like knight of e2. It avoids trading queens. Right, King Archer. They both avoid trading queens, but I guess the question is, what's the virtue of Queen e2 versus... What's really the difference between Queen e2 and knight on bd2? What's the advantage of playing Queen e2? I've seen some weird games where white does some surprising things, like I said, with taking on d5 and playing like c4. By the way, like, okay, b5 here, I like takes. This is also something I learned from Feugl. Takes, and like d4. This is straight out of Akiba Rubinstein. If you study... Rubinstein didn't really play the King's Indian attack, interestingly, but he used this idea structurally. You know, you always think, oh, well, the way to play is always like the Bobby Fischer e5. But against this b5, it's actually strong to play this. And then fix the center with d4, like changing the center. And playing for the strong point on e5. If c4, white is better, apparently. Alright. But b5 is different. I don't know this. You know, I bring up Dvoretsky again because I spent some time with him briefly working on this type of stuff. And he was like, you never play a4 in the King's Indian attack. But that was like a general rule. You know, this is black's side of the board. It's the same as the King's Indian. I mean, generally speaking, you wouldn't make this move, but this is an exceptional position where black has played a5 and he has a weakness on b5. It's like sometimes in the bayonet King's Indian, black plays a5. Trojan system, you play a5. This is a specific position where a4 makes sense. You're playing on black's side of the board, but you're saying, hey, it's really hard for you to play b5 now. What are you going to do? Like b6, bishop a6, b5? It's going to take black forever to play that. So I think a4 is an exception to the rule. Like fixing the center in Alekhine, yeah. Excel Poker, talking about that d4 thing. Yeah, I oftentimes talk about this. I don't know what to call this pawn on d5. Like, that's the same thing like you're saying in the Alekhine, fixing the center. It's like a weakness. The d5 pawn becomes a target. Rubinstein did like knight f1, knight e3 in his games to play for... I think there was like Tarash, Queen's Gambits, maybe French. I don't remember how he got this type of idea, because he didn't really play the King's Indian attack. But yeah, that's the idea in the Alekhine, where you play knight f8, or knight c8, knight e7, you know, stuff like that. That's what the Excel Poker was talking about. Anyway, a4. So I think that Ripun should consider playing. This is justified. The a4, c b6, And then what's black's plan? You know, bishop a6 and b5 eventually. Now we're probably going to transpose with b5 to like Fischer, Mercerin after knight f1. But Flamingo Poop played a4 first. Now, for those of you who have studied Bobby Fischer's 60 Memorable Games, you may remember this iconic game where black played like b5. I don't remember the exact move order. h4. It was something like b4, knight h2, a4. And then Fischer gave himself, I think he gave himself like an exclamation point for this move in this position, stopping black from expanding further. But I'm not an expert because I don't really play either side of these positions. But I thought somewhere I saw that this has been rethought. You know, like, I'm not sure that Fischer's 60 Memorable Games holds up. Maybe a3 is not necessarily white's best move. It's not necessary. So maybe the whole thing has been developed further. Look at the engine. Fischer claimed a3 was like exclamation point in this position, but computer says that knight g4 is better. But I would want to analyze this very deeply, you know, all night with the engine to be sure. Maybe knight g4 is an improvement. Who knows, right? Anyway. But black came to the position from a different move order. He plays a4 first. I don't know what to say, you know. I mean, is a3 necessary here? That's the other rule, Excel Poker, that's classic chess strategy. Excel Poker said he's never read any chess books, but he knows stuff. Like, classic rule of positional play is don't touch the pawns on a side where you're being attacked. That's why, you know, you're not supposed to play a4. Same thing. Don't play a3 on the side. You'll just create a weakness on b3 or whatever. I find it very interesting here that in 2 games, Random Masters, both players played a3. Now, most strong players have studied like Bobby Fischer's 60 Memorable Games. If, you know, it's one of the most popular books of all time. So I'm not surprised this move was played. Anyway, but it's a slightly different position. So I don't know if it's necessary or not. I doubt it's bad, and we're likely to transpose. I don't think that black has anything other than b5. Maybe like c4 or something? That doesn't look right. So this is an interesting question about a3. There I guess I would play b3. The Pomniachi Kramnik 2017. Because if you take, your structure's just, it's toast, you know. Dodgy Tactics, is that you, Ubatis? B3. Anyway, black doesn't play that. Yep. Alright. B5. And it's funny, a lot of people played A3 right away. Knight H2, B4. And he doesn't do it. He played bishop A6. Here. And now we've got one game. And that looks weird. Because, I mean, it gives white the chance to close it up with d4. I would imagine d4, a3, b3, and I don't have a clue what's going on. But I assume it's a little closed up. It might be hard for black to break through on the queen side. No, so this does seem like the better move. c4 right away. Now you have two options, pushing or just leaving the status quo. There's an interesting line here, and if here, here, here. Wow, white's 3-0 in this position. Kaidanov, New York Open, 1998, presumably, against one of Nils's countrymen. Yeah, I don't like c4. Well, he's not in book. c4 is not book for sure. My intuition is to play d4. But I imagine you could also probably play a3. You could just ignore it altogether. He plays d4. Why couldn't black push d4? He can. But there's a big hole on e4. A lot of people have gotten checkmated because of that. That could be like a rook e4, rook g4 kind of thing. I mean, queen e4. It's possible white's access to e4 would be more important than, black's access to like d5. I'm not even worried about this so much. I think the bigger issue is white's access to that square might be very beneficial for white, more so than for black. So black wants to open like the C file, but now he can't open the C file. This deserves serious consideration. It's like one of those pawn endgame studies where you have to stop the breakthrough. You know what I mean? Like black's threatening like a breakthrough, and b3 stops all the breakthroughs. Yes, we have huge weaknesses, but we can like stop it for the time being and then just focus on our kingside attack. We stop any kind of weird levers. I mean, obviously black, it takes him 1, 2, 3 moves to really get into c3. The problem is c3 is a blunder. Ripun just blunders now. Yeah. I mean, but this is something you should know instantly. The minute you play c3 is just game over, man. Goodbye. Next. This is basic pawn structure. You're devastated now. But this move would shut him down. It's the same thing if you play a3, he has c3. And that's the Kaidanov game. Interestingly, this is okay. It looks like black might have something. B takes a3. Notably, like, Kaidanov is a French defense player who doesn't play the setup with black. But this is a huge blunder. And then a return blunder. a3, black's winning. Basically game over. Alright. But now we're back to square one. Black's bishop sucks. And his only chance is to infiltrate on the b file. Position's relatively closed. It's not that easy to attack this, and I think white's attack on the king side is promising now. White has the advantage in general. This looks like a really, really interesting move. I mean, I don't know. The more obvious is something like queen c2, playing for that. But you're going to get hit by a3, rook b8, and coming down. The queen may need this diagonal. So it's very likely, this move or this move is better. And now knight g5. And now I guess, you know, basically we're threatening queen h5. This rook could actually come over here in variations. Queen c2 and rook b1 seems right. Well, we're kind of playing on black's side again. Let's say black goes like here or something. Why can't I move the pieces? Well, anyway, this type of thing will be next. And he also has knight f8. The queen is not in the right position for the kingside attack here. So basically black just has to hold the line on the queen side and then attack really full on. This looks right. Threatening queen h5. Bam. And so now if you take, you're getting brutally mated, right? Take, knight g4, knight f6, king h2, rook h1, blah, 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 blah. Black played h6. Yeah, I mean, this is straight out of the tutorial. Knight g4. Bobby Fischer checkmating the French defense 101. Knight h6. And then this is like classic here. Down the h-file. I got mated like this against Boris Kreiman. He was kicking my feet under the table. Back in like 1991. He was like annoying, punk, 14-year-old, and I wanted to kill him, but it would have been illegal. I was an adult and he was like 14. It was a last round money game in this tournament, and I was black in this type of stupid King's Indian attack. That's all I can remember. It was for some prize. But later I beat him the next time we played and got revenge. H takes g5 and it's over, right? I mean, there's no way. Knight f6 is coming next. That is mate. It is mate. It is brute force mate. Bang. Brutal. And this rook could even slide over to h3. Take. Now maybe we have something better. Do we have g6? Yeah. Wait. g6. No? Because I want to mate with this rook. That's kind of elegant, no? If takes, queen takes, king h8, and then g4, and you play rook h3 mate. Now he like stops mate by queen c3, but not for long. So you have this. It's possible g6 is more accurate then, right? Although I'm sure that white is winning. Yeah. Everything wins, but that's like clearly a fast mate. Yeah, he had to sack a second piece. Is this really accurate though? Should we play queen h6 check? You should play this. Now here and then take, and you're threatening bishop there. Did black survive by taking f6 with pieces? Not the g-pawn. Oh. Schieber Spiller. What? Queen d8? Defending. Yeah, this sucks. So maybe he's surviving. Damn. Yeah, alright. So maybe you're right. Are we winning? We're winning with g4. So queen d8, Schieber Spiller's move is still the best anyway. I mean, is white winning? Can't be worse, surely. We got g4. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's over. I mean, that's the decisive move, the rook e3. I don't think that black can survive. Anyway, Arsenal's question was, can black survive by taking with pieces? Because pieces are people too. Problem is you don't have enough pieces. You need another one. You need one more piece. Not enough pieces to go around. Yeah, this is black didn't know. He didn't know how to defend this. He learned his lesson. And now bishop g5. But g4 is good too. Rook a7. The Astermate maneuver. So bishop g5 is even better. Wow. Obviously f6. Queen g6 check. King h8. Oh, now g4. It's a delayed g4, and that's the game. Perfect moves. Mate. Alright, man. Wow. Very impressive game. Low cent upon loss. Asterbait is up next. Yeah, rook e3 I suspected was good. Black really had no clue. You know, you got to get crushed in that line before you wake up and you learn that you have to really know what you're doing. I wouldn't touch that with like a 10-foot pole for black. I said that I lost Boris Kryman, but it wasn't actually that variation. It was something slightly different with like g6, but a very similar attack. If I remember correctly. I don't think I've ever gone into that orthodox sort of e6 thing. Alright, this is Asterbait with black. Actually, what is this? Asterbait time control? 10-minute chess. Yeah, the newfangled algebraic. Asterbait, why are you playing d5? That seems weird. Asterbait plays e4 every single game with white, and now his opponent basically like makes him white, and he plays d5. I mean, you play the Sicilian, and you play e4 with white. So here's your options, like playing the Sicilian or playing e4. It seems funny that you would choose to play d5. Principled chess. Well, I guess, Arsenal, you have a point. Like, technically, is d5 a better move than e5? The engine seems to think so. That's really funny. Look at that. Look at that readout with the 3 moves. I've got 3 lines there. Stockfish. Right. D5, D4, exclamation point. I told you I tried to play C3 against this guy, hoping he played like E5 so I could play C4, but he wouldn't cooperate. It was ridiculous. D3. That's interesting to me though. Because when you think about it, right, this move mobilizes your bishop and your queen. I mean, it gives black maximum piece mobility. And the computer says that it's not as good as d5 or c5. Another really freaky thing here. For a minute, c5 was first on the engine's list, and it fell out. d5, according to Stockfish, is the best move. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, though. Asterbait doesn't play the Queen's Gambit. If his opponent plays d4, what's he going to do now? Alright. Anyway, I made my point. This is actually totally logical. If bishop f4, then f6. Bishop f4, f6, d4 is an anti-Chigorin setup. Your brother taught me that e5 was best in your first lesson, TKX. Well, I mean, that may be the case against e4, but d3 is a slightly different move. But that's a point I'm not sure about. I think you should play what you are most comfortable with in a given opening. Asterbate doesn't play the Queen's Gambit. He doesn't play d4 with white, so it doesn't make sense to deal with this. If you face these weird moves like d3, c3, b3, knight f3, g3, whatever slow move white's playing, you really ought to play, if you don't have something memorized, you ought to play what comes most naturally when you're white. If you're an e4 player, you should play e5. If you're a d4 player, you should play d5 against all these nondescript first moves. You got to put yourself in a position that you find comfortable, When do I get my GM title? Next year's Senior World Championship, to be exact. D3, D5, Knight F3. Now, Asterbate, I think you should probably play Knight F6. Knight C6. And now C3. Okay, so I guess D4. I wouldn't be surprised if the computer would say this was like white's best move now. Objectively, Bishop F4 is F6. Looks pretty strong. What about this tempo down? White's a tempo down. White's a tempo down, man. I don't like it. So all that white can do is play like a reversed opening here. King's Indian attack, Pirt's reversed. Now we're talking, Asterbate. Now we're talking. You got e5. You've turned it into an e4 check defense. White's a tempo up in check defense. You got the GM from the back of dude's truck in a home depot. Alright. In the back of dude's trunk in a Home Depot parking lot. Walmart is also a popular destination. What's up, Cooking Rooks? TKX, thank you for the donation of 100 bits. So, this is interesting. White's playing the Pirt's check defense like a tempo up with Queen A4. Cookie Rooks, thanks, man. So, Franchich, this guy played a lot of First Saturday, like, IM tournaments. I played with him in, like, 1997. He always played, like, D3 with white. It's very rare to find someone like that. So we're playing the Pirt's in reverse. Bishop D6 looks like a good move. White probably should play E4 at some point. I'm not sure that G3 works that well with Queen A4. Maybe white has to be more immediate here. E4 looks pretty good. The other move that Asterbate can play is Bishop D7. But if Queen B3, we have issues with the two pawns. We're going to have to sacrifice the B7 pawn. Most likely. In that kind of line. So, this objectively... well, Asterbate here, I mean, another move you consider is F6. We have to consider F6. Solidly defending that pawn on E5. But G3 is slow. And I think after that, the queen is a little questionable. Why his queen is on A4 here in the long run. So I would just want to get developed as fast as possible. I think that you should pass on bishop d7 now. And, well, I mean, black has a whole bunch of different moves. Knight f6, knight e7, f6. Probably not necessary to play f6. It's probably inconsistent. So I guess developing the knight is consistent. This, okay. Here. Bad move. I mean, clearly like queen b3. So the question is, if you defend the pawn on d5, this looks dangerous, right? I mean, it's very possible that white's queen will get trapped. Knight a5, queen a6 here. Threatening bishop c8. Any suggestions? Yes, white has b4 there. And wins a piece. Not necessarily. Damn, dude. Bishop here? Is white losing a queen? Or is it just my imagination? That would be harsh. Lose your queen like that. But d4 doesn't save him. It's only a stopgap. Oh, you gotta play e3. You're a genius. Masturbate. I mean, Arsenal fan. I do that every time. It's like ingrained now. Anyway, we're too far afield. Anyway, risky. Alright. Queen c2. White has to play e4 at some point. It's a classical Peerage reverse now. These bishops aren't ideally placed. Castle, castle. And a5 is definitely a good move, restricting white on the queen side. Another reasonable move is like h6, stopping bishop g5. But after e4, this is interesting. Asterbate gets aggressive. I doubt this is justified, though. This looks a little premature. It's probably okay. Takes. I expect you to take with a knight. I guess it's nothing, though. Can you protect this pawn? Maybe you can? It's not 1, 2, 3. It's too many pieces. After pawn takes pawn, knight g5, it's gone. It's gone, man. Gone. Gonzo. Might become weak. It's a little late for that. I think you're going to take with a knight, and I'm concerned about this. I'm concerned about this. Undermining the knight on e4. White is basically playing like the Alekhine defense. Or Scandinavian, reversed. But he has enough time to put pressure on your pawn on d5. So I guess e4 is wrong. Yeah, the moves I said are the best. a5 and h6. I have a lot of experience playing the classical Peerage with white. So after this, he gets an e4. And I don't have better than like takes, h6, knight bd2, maybe bishop e6 with an equal position. Alright, but instead you go there, take. You did take with the knight. Oh, I'm losing my mind. Alright, my bad. Asterbate did take with the knight. I don't know why I thought white played that. He did take with the knight, but white moved his knight for no reason now with knight h4. That's like a face palm. I mean, white has a perfectly reasonable position. He plays this. Hey, let's put our knight on the side of the board. I wouldn't even want to take this if I win a pawn. Because that's your king side. I mean, do you want to trade that king side defender for a knight and a pawn? as Arsenal points out, challenging the knight on e4 or trying to undermine it. Of course, that could, involve some risks, but... And finally, rook d1, which also involves some risks. But this does appear to be the safest move for white. But this is an aim, I mean, you can't play the Pirch defense and then stop developing your pieces. Astrobate played rook e8, and now really bad move. Really, really bad. f3. Yeah, critically weakening the white king, and also leaving his knight with no squares to move to on h4. Nothing but bad things can come of this. Wow, knight takes g3, Arsenal, so violent. I never even thought about it. That's so messed up. You're such a violent person. Here I am, like, all subtly trying to play, like, bishop c5 and go for the exchange with knight f2. Looking at ways to trap the knight on h4. But he's just, like, brute force. Knight takes. Nice suggestion. It might not work. But it might work. Let's see. Takes, takes, takes. The knight has to go to f5. Black takes. White takes. And now we can threaten a brutal mate, but he can interpose here. So it's not over. There's also this. I honestly felt like this is probably the right move. But let's calculate. If king h1, knight f2, we win the exchange. The problem is this. And some people might stop there, but that's where I'm starting to think, like, the fact this knight doesn't have any squares is an issue. So maybe, like, something as simple as coming back or coming back here, like threatening g5. What's white gonna do now? He would have to play f4. Well, it's just losing this pawn. Well, maybe not, because this is hanging. So that's really tempting. Astrobate did this, though. This looks messy, Pawn takes, yeah, bishop takes, pawn takes d5. This was not convincing. So, if this is a tactics puzzle, what's our answer? Black to move and win. Are we missing anything? Is this black to move and win? What's the best move for black? Anybody? Arsenal fan? Bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. You can't take twice with the bishop on g3. Oh, bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop takes h4. Bishop takes, pawn takes, bishop takes h4. Bishop takes g3, h3, knight g3, knight f5, I know. The first variation is the critical one. Bishop g3, pawn takes to e4. That looks actually okay. I'm thinking this is okay, for white. I'm not convinced by this. Right now, I would choose my variation. If I had to pick, bishop c5 check, e3. Is there any advantage in this move? I mean, this is a strong move too. Threatening, nothing. No, it's not. I guess knight d6. Now f4. But white's still alive. It looks really bad, though. Even this is possible. This has got to be winning for black. Let's see what the oracle says. Wow. It's got another move. Now it's going with my move. It's going with my move, but it's... Yeah, the exact variation. Acerbates the second. Bishop takes g3. I'm surprised how big the edge is. What it is, it's like... It's a massive positional advantage, is what it is. Bishop check, e3, knight d6. We don't win material right away, but our massive positional advantage is, like, devastating. Computer was looking at something like this, dude. That's like slow twisting the knife in the wound there. That move, like, that's Asterbate is not going to play that and be like confident he's winning. You know, he wants like blood now. You know. But I guess the other line doesn't work. So this is really interesting. I thought this was viable for white, but the computer says it's +2 for black. There are a lot of weaknesses. You're right. There are a lot of weaknesses here too. I mean, it's just that we need a few moves to win. I guess the thing that bothers me the most, the queen's a little hard to get in the game. We have to settle for something really meager, like queen e7, queen c5. It's going to take a little while to finish white off. So he played this horrifying move. Like, dude, your pieces are all sitting on the back rank there. He has literally, like, okay, let's say these pieces on the queen side, but anyway, those pieces have not moved. And you're going to play queen d2 now? What? Clearly, that's not the problem. Well, I mean, looks like Arsenal looks like Asterbate's move's pretty good. I like c6. But you do not want to trade queens here. Schieberspieler will get away. I mean, maybe knight g4. You've got this now that you didn't used to. But I was focusing more on development myself. I mean, we've got the same problem. We need to get our pieces in. Definitely don't trade queens. I don't know. c6 takes. Yeah, I mean, if you do this, you're just like plus 1.5. You imagine, like, bishop takes c6, queen d8, rook d8, bishop takes c6, knight takes c6. Survival chances for white here. Not good. But, you know, I mean, at the amateur level, you trade the queens. This is probably falling. Even so, it's not over, you know. We don't want to trade queens. So takes, check, and there's a problem here, Houston. Oh, Asterbate, what are we going to do with you, man? He has queen d4. There's a huge, massive problem with your line. Yeah, or queen e3. I missed that. But queen d4 seems safer. I don't want to put my queen in the line with the rook. Here is safer. He's forcing a trade of queens. Queen e3, knight f3 doesn't work, does it? Oh, it does work. Yeah, you're right. Queen e3, knight f3. Thank you. Husky with the call. Well, he can sack the queen. No, he can't. Yeah, he can play rook f3. It's lost. Probably. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, the point is, like, this guy had queen d4. What are you going to do? Now you have to trade queens. Or maybe let him take on b6. Now, is Asterbay going to be able to win this? Maybe, like, Schieberspieler could win it. Or me. But black went from +5, +8 to, like, +1. You know, by trading queens. So let's see if Arsenal fans' suggestion of knight g4 was the best move. It's up there. Yeah, I probably would have played this or something. Trying to get my rook in the game and set up something. There's also like frontal pressure on the e-file eventually. Morales would have done this. That's a beautiful idea, dude. Seriously. Thank you, Engine, for a5. That's a move I probably would find in a long game. Move 11 for you, it's never too late. A5 is beautiful. Just the Budapest Gambit. But man, what a bad move. Seriously, how bad is Queen D2? This is like the worst move ever. Hey, let's block both of our pieces that can't get out simultaneously. Like, seriously, if you ask White... That's like, okay, would you rather give the nuclear codes to Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump? No, seriously, it's hard to say. But I know one thing, I definitely don't want to block both pieces simultaneously. What is the worst thing you can do with the nuclear codes? Give them to Donald Trump. It's like, put the queen on D2. Literally blocking your pieces that need to come out. That's gotta get in some politics. Alright, anyway, Asterbate got lucky as always. Check, no queen d4. And now it's over. Rook d8, you're trading off like one of his only defenders. All of his pieces are on the back rank. It's over. It's everything, it's over. Nice. Arsenal fan is happy. Now, Putin wouldn't be dumb enough to, like, start a nuclear war. Seriously. I mean, it's a joke, but it's also serious. Like, you would literally be safer handing the nuclear codes over to Putin than having Donald Trump as president. The chances of something going wrong are definitely lower. E3, knight g4, rook f4, rook e3. And now there's back rank with rook e1. Beautiful move. Asterbate ruining his own brilliancy by missing rook takes h3. Don't get me started with Boris Johnson. You really don't have much room to talk. Yeah, you missed the mate in one. Rook e1 check, queen e1. Rook takes g4. I believe you. Queen f1, and then a nice mate with queen h3. It's nice to know that democracy still exists somewhere. Alright, Asterbate, good job. We've got Mr. Bites. This is Yabatis. I'm going to have to move a little faster, guys. Thanks for putting in the game, Yabatis. As always, I'm enjoying this too much and spending too much time on specific games. Mr. Bites. Mr. Tripchance, the doctor, even, he said my wife threatened me if I spent my evening on the computer, she would slam my head on the keyboard. Yeah, you know, when your spouse is constantly on the computer 24 hours a day, that can be kind of a drag. Computer jealousy. All right. So we got Mr. Bites, aka Yabatis, playing white. The Adiban attack. Now this is just simply a form of a small silly game. Okay, I won't take it too seriously. This is a form of the English that shouldn't be that dangerous. We no longer have bishop e5. Yeah, if I was submitting a game, I could submit my game with Dempsey Hooligan from the Tuesday tournament, which was a fantastic Nimzovich where I lost with black, but it was a really funny game. C takes d5. I mean, you could play it like a, you could definitely play it like a, with black, could play it like a hedgehog or a Moscow checkover. This will be reversed hedgehog slash checkover variation. Notice black's score here. Quite impressive, I should say. Well, what is this now? It's a reverse Sicilian. A hedgehog reversed. It's still in English. It's in English. Just rare variation. You're playing the Cham. I argue this should be called the Cham variation in honor of our grandmaster who passed away. Hungarian Cham Istvan, who liked to play the B6 Sicilian. And I don't think that variation has its own name. You know, we should lobby to call it the Cham system. A3, bishop e6, knight f3. A3 is a good move. I mean, standard. It's a standard Cham. With black, this is the way you would play. Bishop e6. The extra tempo is pretty useful here. Black's trying to play pretty aggressively. Like, you got to give some consideration to bishop b5, but there are risks involved. So maybe white should stick with a normal hedgehog. So here, I don't know. Now Yabatis played b4 and it becomes like a Khan Sicilian reversed. As an ex-Larsener, I have to say white can play a3, knight f3, d3. I mean, yeah, it's Sicilian reversed. So this move looks like it would like literally... I would think this would literally be a Khan Sicilian. Because now we've lost our extra tempo. I would think like this exact position might exist theoretically with black, and black is white and white is black. It's not enough to say reverse colors. Mirror image of this position may be a mainline Khan, or a major variation of the Khan, I would think. So, I don't know, is there anything more aggressive black can do? If queen c2, queen f6, the idea of queen g6 would be like a reversed. But he didn't play queen c2. I mean, a6 looks okay. I'd rather not make that move if I were black. But e5 is pressured. Now queen c2. So here I'm saying, if we play like it's a real Khan, this idea of trading queens with like queen g6, okay, so it has a name. It's the Katalimov variation. Whoever Katalimov was. I guess it's taken. Although a lot of variations have two names, I still say we should call it the Cham. Christian Bauer also plays it a lot. But he plays a lot of dodgy stuff like the St. George defense. You know, it was Soviet IM. Call it the Bauer defense. Queen c2. Queen f6 is interesting. Anybody? I mean, there is this. You don't want to have this position against like Morales or something. Um, so Queen C2, he just castled. We transposed to a Murray Chandler game from 1985. Sometimes I get like Facebook suggestions to friend Murray Chandler, but I've never met him in my life. Man, he's been inactive in the chess world. Very inactive. He must have done something outside of chess. Um, Bauer already has 2 names. I don't think so. That's the other Bauer, right? Bauer? All right. Really? Christian Bauer, the French grandmaster, has openings named after him? Maybe it was another older. There was a Lasker Bauer, the famous game where Lasker won with the 2 bishop sacrifice. But that wasn't a particularly strong master. So now you bought us here. I mean, the fishing pole is always an option. But it looks pretty coffee house. This is what Aldisto plays. I mean, I would assume black could play h6 to stop knight g5. Although there you have bishop d3. Then f5. It's starting to look like a Emery Tate system. f5. We got to get our knight in the game, and I'm getting a little concerned about it. So, Yabatis did not do that. He's too principled to play h4. Bishop c4. Or bishop e2. Bishop e2. I'm concerned that we'll drift a little to kind of like a Scheveningen, but I guess that's not so bad. It's almost a Scheveningen now. It also could be like a queen b6 Sicilian. Man, this guy is really strong. I like how he's 1400. It's a Godiva variation. King h8, knight d2. Because if you castle, I mean, I guess this isn't that dangerous. You just close it up. I mean, g5's out of the question here. Anyway, better to play knight b2 first. Looks like black played perfectly. There is this, though. Queen f6, queen h6 again. That would be the classic way to play if you're playing the white side of a Godiva. You go here, and then ideas of queen h6, bearing down on h2, while supporting e5. I suppose it's even possible to do a rook lift and like a stonewall attack. But Yabatis has knight c4. And now we have a problem, Houston. That looks pretty strong. I think black's too slow here. So same thing, if queen f6, knight c4. Honestly, guys, I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, knight c4 is incoming. Let's get some input from the peanut gallery. Or many viewers. We don't have that many viewers tonight. It's too serious for most people, this stream. Guys, please support the stream. Cooking Rooks donated 500 bits. We had a double gift sub from Nils. Appreciate it. Who else? TKX donated 100 bits. Don't be afraid. Your money will go to good cause. Um, thinking of playing in a poker tournament on Saturday night, but might require like 2 days of my time. No, I don't know. This looks interesting. What does the engine say? Yeah, Queen F6. It's a balanced game. It's a good game. Alright, so game was Queen E7. That does not protect us, and it doesn't have a forward plan. No. No, this is seriously not good. I think you pulled the trigger way too early here. Yeah. You don't want to let that happen. This is definitely not ideal. But all right, it is what it is. You're still alive. You brought the bishop back. You've got G3. I imagine that black is doing well now. Somehow. It looks like an F4 Najdorf. But maybe it's not so simple. Maybe he has some kind of knight d4. Although I think he did make a concrete mistake by putting his queen on e7. And this sucks. The knight on g6 sucks. It defends e5, but other than that, it's like worthless. It's the worst square. I would think, and look at this guy coming with h4. I would think this is seriously a move. The vulture. Vulture knight. Stopping h5. And heading for a good square where it actually has some sort of, like, I don't know, value. On g6, yuck. And then check him out. h4. Beautiful. Hey, did I tell you that I didn't castle yet? Do you know about that? You tricked him into thinking you were in a castle. Bishop h3 is like a positional idea too. Now he caved and traded. And this is a tough call. I kind of like pawn takes. I mean, you could definitely drop a piece. Yeah, sorry. You have to take with the pawn. Bishop g4. We've got to keep this in the back of our minds with knight d4. This line could open up. So now maybe bishop e2. I don't know. Wow, so Ubatis got creative. h5. Creatively creating devastating threats on the h file. Oof. You could take it a step further. That's what Excel Poker's taking it a step further with accelerating h5. Yeah. It looks like Ubatis was just a tad late. This is even good. But let's see what happens. Pawn takes, h6. Or possibly like bishop g8. You got a Ubatis thing going on. I mean, an Asterbait mate going on there. I mean, obviously h6 is possible too. It's a little messy, right? This is not a guarantee. So you got knight e4. Takes, h6, knight e4. But we don't have any knight g5. You'll have to get like something else to support it. But I think, okay, the way you played it was okay. No, but again, here, maybe you need to be more patient. I don't know. You have a lot of options. But let's see. h5 takes. Shit, you have to take it. Yeah. And then take. Obviously, bishop g8 not an option there. Yeah, I mean, the bishop pair is really strong here. You're going to have to be careful. Knight d4 is a thing. Beautiful bishop pair. Castle queenside looks good. I mean, the main thing is like if you can play like, you know, a sack on h6. Ugh. Wow. You played bishop takes g7 here. I mean, I'm having trouble finding an immediate win. But rook h7 looks really strong. Is it not strong? There's so many good moves. This looks winning. Yeah, because you're threatening everything. This is fantastic. Does that work? Does this really work? E5 check? Yeah, that's not a good choice. I guess rook f5. So what's happening after rook f5? There are two moves. King g5 and rook f5. Variation 1 is rook f5. Is this working? Or is black getting away? We've invested a lot of material here. Yeah, I mean, bishop h3 was a pretty strong move. You can do this. Ouch. I feel like we're playing the fried liver. That's really strong. I like bishop h3. Then something like, he's just collapsing like a house of cards. Knight e7. It's like a domino. You can knock out all the pieces. Is there any way we win just like simply here? Maybe g4, maybe. Not here though. Alright, the engine says it's a draw. Oh shit. It's a draw. Of course. Rook. Of course it's a draw. Move 11's silly bishop h3. So bishop e4 was winning. Wow. Who would guess? So that keeps the h file. That keeps the h file open. Is that the fundamental difference? Really, the bishop? I don't know, man. It's three different variations were draws. It wasn't just one. It said like all three lines were 0.0. Not just one line. Bishop h3, easy win. No, seriously, it says all three lines are draws. Now it changes mind? Two lines are draws. One is plus 0.3. That's weird. Before I thought it gave all three lines. So only one line is a definite draw. One is slightly better for white. Knight e7 is a draw. E takes d6. King h7. D e7. Queen e3 check. King b2. It's some kind of weird perpetual. Queen e5 check. Leading some kind of bizarre perpetual check. But this makes more sense. Your bishop's centralized. And you've got the h-file open. So that's pretty crazy. This actually works. except for the fact that it doesn't. He could have played this. You got a little too fancy, man. All right, you got a little carried away. I think rook h7. Now bishop h3. Okay, maybe that was what move 11 was talking about. I thought black had queen a2. No way. What? Way! Oh my god, that's so sick. That's a great suggestion for the lichess. Yeah, he meant this. This is like a puzzle. Lichess puzzle. Because you go bishop e6 check and you clear the queen. The point is to clear the queen for rook h8, mate. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I saw this, but I'm like, oh, but he goes to a2. And I'm looking at this. But black can do like b5 or something, or knight e5. That's beautiful. So you go here, you give away a bishop, take it, and then rook h8 check, and then take it, and then check, and queen h3, and take it, and then king h8, and queen h7 mate. Yeah, that's an awesome puzzle solution. Bishop g7 was just like gambling recklessly for no reason. Yeah, here even like king g8 was playable. So this was fun. All right. Next game, very fun. Next game is fish shake versus husky. That sounds delicious. A fish shake. I had a friend who trolled someone by making a hot dog frap. I think I'd rather have a hot dog frap than a fish shake. I don't know about you guys. It's a tough call. We've got husky with black. Game 6 is Arsenal. Game 7 is Mule Skinner. And then Cooking Rooks and Move 11 are last. I've played a bunch of games, but I don't know if black's better off playing c6 or knight on bd7 here. And that is not a usual approach. Generally, when you play the black side of the closed Catalan, you're kind of not looking for this quick c5. My friend Zlatko Lincic had a number of games. He had one with like Christian Sabo. If you look here, you'll see like Lincic games. Now it became popular at the highest levels. Those are more recent. Nakamura, Carlsen. I don't know why Hikaru insists on playing the black side of this stuff. But I would think like c6 is the main move. Zlatko, I thought he played b4 here. Yeah. I don't know if this is really a good move. Zlatko was obsessed with it. Like, trying to justify... He's kind of a crazy guy. Really good player, but... I mean, trying to justify your bishop on d2 by playing b4, it's a little eccentric. Looks like So picked it up and used it to beat Vidit in 2018. Zlatko would like analyze the Catalan like 20 moves deep. Really good player. So I assume c6 is the main idea. What is White's objective best move though? I doubt it's b4. It's really hard to say. I don't know. There's so many moves. Look, there's like 8 moves for White in this position. So you played c5. So it's funny. You know what's funny? It's not like, some random 2200 played c5. Sokolov was a candidate for the World Championship in the 80s. This is not to be confused with Ivan Sokolov. Andrei Sokolov, originally from Russia, was a world championship candidate. I don't remember. Then he immigrated to France, or he was a candidate after he'd immigrated to France. My late 80s chess history is kind of foggy now. He's still playing, like, French team and stuff. I mean, yeah, that's... Well, this game against rookie Robert is another Hungarian, now Grandmaster. This game is pretty old. I mean, it's from 99. Robert is a nice guy. He's coaching mostly now. But c5 feels like, you know, weird. You're like opening the game when it looked like you're going to play a solid closed Catalan. So how bad is it? You're turning it into a Tarrasch where your knight is on d7. That's all. You know, I guess what you have to say is, what is Black doing? Black's playing a bad Tarrasch where his knight's on the wrong square. You know, your knight's supposed to be on c6 when you play the black side of the Tarrasch. So my first thought is that this knight is on the wrong square. White plays c takes d5. Yeah, I mean, if you take with a knight, it's a question of, you know, how powerful e4 is. So I assume that's good for white. Maybe not that easy to punish black, but, you know, this looks pretty dangerous. You know, who knows though? I mean, we should really, like, consider it. Is knight d5 that bad? Let's be objective, like Zlatko. He loves to analyze, and he's very open-minded, you know, which makes him a great player. Sometimes, you know, also leads him astray, but being open-minded is rarely a bad thing. Being willing to analyze anything, taking everything seriously. e4, knight b4. Bishop takes b4, pawn b4. This I don't like. White center is strong. But if black had enough time, he could, you know, adapt and get a good position going on with, like, b6, bishop b7, and rook c8. I'm not that convinced that white should take that knight. You know, maybe the best move is something subtle, like queen b3. But it's a really messy position. You know, this looks really weird. I honestly don't know. Maybe white should play something else after knight takes d5. What do you guys think? What is the... Delver Flips, thanks for subscribing. You don't like this position. Yeah, I mean, I assume it's better for white, but I'm not really convinced, you know? It looks better for white, but what are you supposed to do? Like knight c3, just trading it off? Yeah, white's a little better, but I'm not real excited to trade pieces. This is slightly better for white. Maybe more than slightly. Maybe that's what Karpov would do. I don't know. I kind of like this arsenal. Of course, b takes c is possible. But it looks like very low risk. White's just better. It's very hard for black to, you know... How the heck is black going to get his pieces out? It's definitely suffering. Plus 1.8. Jeez. That's not good. So is knight c3 the best move? Wow. Counterintuitive. But this is the number one. It looks wrong to do, you know, to do that and allow knight c5. But black still can't really get out. Alright, anyway. Check it out. Check it out! The best move is knight takes d5. Take the middle with e4. Yeah. That's the sharpest continuation. But this is what I looked at first. This knight b4 is not so clear. Mako energy. Black has surprising resources here. He has to give up his dark square bishop or walk into... And my analysis was right on the money. It's queen b3, a5. So I'm in a good form analytically. Black has counterplay here. I would have been. I was afraid of e4, but this actually looks like just enough for black to be all right. So objectively, that's the better move. Very tricky to play though. He plays pawn takes. You've got a bad Tarash now with your knight on the wrong square. I'm not sure about knight c3. I mean, it's certainly not bad. Again, this is an important question, but I don't... Yeah, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right to bring the knight to c5. So, moving this bishop or playing knight c3, that's all you can do. Knight c3 has got to be right. And now this. And this knight is atrocious. Yes, you might get it to c4. But in spirit, it's atrocious. So, white has to stay active now. This looks reasonable. I'm assuming we're going to play like bishop g5 or something. Yeah, I'm not sure about knight b5. I don't want to fall behind in development. I think white should move like some rooks, or rook d1 is interesting, and I like this move. Bishop g5, because that piece always intended to move again. We're going to get hit by knight c4 anyway. Let's check out this variation. h6, bishop f6, queen takes, knight takes d5. Holy crap. There's an actual game where this position... That's insane. There's an actual game where this position arose. Wolfgang Vandre against Christian Jux from 1992. What is the chances of that, like, statistically? There's like millions of chess positions. This is like a totally obscure position. Yeah, white went on to win. He played rook d1. Efficiency. I like the way white played this. He's better. But I have my suspicions about this. This is the kind of move that I know myself. That's where we start getting in trouble. Where it's like a fancy move. Losing control of the center on this tempting knight move. You know, that's where we start to have problems. You play knight c4, but also knight e4 is logical. For example, knight e4, bishop f4, bishop wherever. Like bishop d7. We don't have to be, you know, we don't have to walk into bishop f5 like knight d4 or something. We can play just here. And I think that black's okay. You know, he's got an IQP, but his pieces are very active. I mean, this bishop on c5, the knight on e4. I don't like this for white. I feel like knight b5 starts the trend of not developing. Maybe knight c4 is good too, though. I mean, your knight is badly placed, but it's not a really permanent outpost. Like, I mean, you know knight e4 is always going to be well protected. But this is kind of like, okay, he can hit you with b3 at some time later. And there's also queen b6 with a loose knight on b5. So here, yeah, I mean, he has to consider other options. But he's focusing on c3, I mean d4, so lots of pieces protecting d4. But the problem is that's not enough. You know, that's enough to be like equal. But white isn't necessarily better because he has good control of d4. Okay, it's okay defensively. But now you're active enough, right? It seems like you have enough activity that you're only like maybe a tiny bit worse. If even that. Right. Yeah, I mean, I think this is just like an okay IQP position for black. That's what it looks like to me. Now you play queen e7, and also queen b6 is interesting. Because queen b6 would attack his pawn on b2. You know, that's kind of inconvenient for him. He doesn't really want to weaken his structure necessarily. But you're fine now. And there is this one issue. Even that's protected. I mean, I guess d5. But how does he attack d5? Queen b2, queen a3. Excellent move. Yeah, this is annoying. Now I think white... this looks dangerous. He played this. I'm very concerned about f2. I mean, one move white can play here is e3. Really safe. Guarding f2 like laterally with the queen. But I mean, honestly, if it were me, I would probably just like trade rooks and go into the endgame. You know, the exchanges help white have a slightly better endgame. I'm cool with this. White is a little better. But this move, okay. By the way, I'm not sure if... Yeah, rook c8 I guess was okay. He also has queen a3. This is atrocious. Like, there's no way I'm playing queen a1. You're actually attacking f2 now. What is this guy doing? What is queen a1? Black's active, and he has to be careful. Again, like e3 with lateral defense of f2. That looks very relevant to me. But queen a1 is awful. Now you play g5. Queen a1 is really horrifying. And now he's like, oh, I want to trade rooks. Yeah, but it's like too late. And now he had to defend. Maybe instead of playing the Catalan, you should play the Stonewall Dutch. I mean, instead of playing the black side of it. It looks like you have a natural Stonewall Dutch tendency. H to H4, knight H4, knight D2, rook D1. Other knight to E4, bishop E4, knight E4. What happened now? Oh, you got an endgame. Or not. Yeah, that's nice. Very nice piece coordination. Wow. And you just totally wrecked him. I mean, I really have only one criticism of White's play. It was that queen a1 move. That was atrocious. All it took was one mistake. Delver flips, submitted a game. It might be too late. We'll see how much time we have. I'm kind of slow today. Delver, the video game. All right, what are we doing? Delver flips analysis game. I can't guarantee if you submit your games late, we get it in. It is looking like a short game though. I am way behind schedule here because we're enjoying the games too much. I've been enjoying these way too much. Thanks guys for... Well, no, I did it to the board. What's up with that? It's back. Thought we lost our board again. I should center this board, by the way. I need to make it smaller. I sized it for a... It's probably someone mentioned it earlier, but I had sized this earlier for my Blitz games and forgot to fix it. You had some inaccuracy there. Alright, well, no, I mean, overall, I like the way he played. The opening is bad. C5 is bad. Nice comeback. Well played after. So, alright. Sumer flip. Flip. So, white is a GM. A 2200. What is this? Simul? Some sort of simul? Sync. So I'm up to Sumer. Game 5. You're playing... Wrong game. Game 5. Flip. Back to the move 1. Alright. He doesn't know you're not allowed to play the London system on my stream. Knight F3. You see, that's the subtlest London system of all. Like, you never see it coming when they play Knight F3 on move 1. It's like the undercover London system. Knight F3, unsuspecting, D5, and now D4. And that's when you're like, they wouldn't play Knight F3 on the first move and then transpose to the London system, right? Knight F6, Bishop F4. Sigh. Even grandmasters are doing it. He's probably like some 18-year-old. Doesn't know who Bobby Fischer is. No, I don't know who this is. Okay, Bishop F4, Bishop F5. I just detest the London. Bishop F4, Bishop F5. Sumair playing the Queen's Gambit declined. Remove GM title immediately. Sumair, you played the Queen's Gambit declined. But you played D4 with white. So I think you should step it up and play C5. I mean, if you're a D4 player by nature, you're comfortable. I'm trying to remember if Galyash Miklos did that against me. No, I don't think he played Knight F3 on move 1. It was D4, Knight F6, Knight F3. He was waiting to see what I would do, like on move 2. You're welcome, Husky. So, anyway, Sumair, I think as a Queen Pawn player, you should play C5. You're going with a Slav. E3, C6. This is kind of boring, though, you know? You're playing like a symmetrical London system. I like Schlechter, but this is the kind of game you saw like in the late 1800s. Schlechter versus NN. You know, 1901. Schlechter like crushing some classic, a lot of like Bishop F4, Bishop F5, symmetrical Londons. Schlecter's favorite thing was like Bishop D3, CD. You know, he liked to take with a pawn. Those pseudo. See, like Bishop D3 is the main move. But you see, there are a lot of people willing to play CD. I mean, at least one grandmaster among them. This creates a little bit of dynamism in the position, you know. You gotta kind of like that. That's totally Karl Schlechter influence. But instead, Sumair played what? E6, this is solid. Better than Bishop takes D3. Castles. Yeah, this is about as boring as it gets. It's not your fault, but you're playing a symmetrical London. Bishop G3. Now he's castled, right? So, okay, fine. You can do that. And then white plays Bishop takes F5. So it's a little like a Trompowsky. I mean, I imagine he's going to break with C4. You got to play for C4 here. Well, what do you do? Do you take it? I mean, actually, white has Queen C2. The danger is, like, ultimately, I guess, something like this, which happens in the Trompowsky. Eventually, white could do some kind of, like, minority attack and end up with a better pawn structure with a strong pawn on D4. Probably black's pieces are good enough to, in control of the center is good enough to justify this, but that would be white's like only real plan, I would assume. Computer like C4 or Queen D3 C4. Yeah, I mean, what other plan is there? The guy does it, but he puts his knight on D2, you know? I have news. The knight is actually better placed on C3. That's why, you know, that's not the London system, though. This is more like a Queen's Gambit. See, he's so stuck in his London system ways that he can't get knight d2 out of his mind. I must put my knight on a bad square. We can't think creatively. It's even a GM, and it's still like a robot. Must play knight d2. This is London system. I mean, seriously, this is a better move. Knight on bd2, knight on bd7, and now c4. But notice, like, c4 is not as effective. Now his knight is on a shitty square. It doesn't put any pressure on your center. Rook c8. That's that's not my choice. So I don't know how we play this. The pawn structure says you should probably play something like queen e7, and you try for a kingside attack. I mean, technically that's what you should do. Play for f4, theoretically. So that's what he's got now. The big nothing. I mean, I'm not sure I like the way that White played it. Again, from the point where he didn't play c4. And now black is better. I don't know how much better. Don't know if I would play b6. So again, I think your play should revolve on the king side. I mean, you're supposed to be playing f4. There it is. I mean, I'm not making this up. Everything is rooted. Everything I say is rooted in strategy. Sumer played b6. You're attacking the head of the pawn chain. Asterbait would be like knight here, queen e7, queen g5, queen h5, mate. I mean, you can attack him with just your pieces. It's a Caro-Kann exchange variation. But if you play knight g4, queen h5, rook e8, rook e6, rook h6, it's mate on h1. And you're playing b6 on the wrong side of the board. It's extremely fundamental. I don't know how your time was. You have 13 minutes. But I like your position here. I probably would have done something like knight f6. The computer goes as far as to play f5. And that's where White, might need to relieve himself in the bathroom. Because this is actually really caveman style, but maybe even effective. Arsenal likes b6. How can you like b6? Why are you playing on White's strong side over there? I like checkmating my opponent or getting like a devastating attack with f4. You like playing b6, so what? You can have like backwardness on the c file? No way. We can manage this. He's got what, like b4, b5? By then he's getting mated. I don't like it. b4, bc5, and then a very debatable decision by White. I'm sorry, what? He wants to go for outside pawn, but this is a risky move. It's definitely safer to take with the b pawn. He's giving him access to the e5 square. Whoa. Are you sure you want to do that? I mean, White does have knight d4, but I'll take the knight e5. Thank you. Again, I mean, maybe some kind of primitive attacking plan is valid. Queen e7, queen g4, queen h5, knight g4. So Sumaher was like totally into playing on the queen side. It's probably okay now that you got the knight on d3. Broke up his structure. And now what? Like rook a8? Yeah, the problem is white now suddenly realized queen b3, knight f2. Slight problem. There's like rook b8 and rook h1 mate, or you can opt for g4, queen h4. White was hoping he would have something, but black's got a lot of play. Maybe he has queen c3 here. I'm not really sure what it does, but it attacks your rook. I mean, I assume he's still in the game. Yeah. It's unclear. This move feels wrong. You know why it feels wrong? Because he has no freaking threat, you know? And now, like, what is he going to do if you go queen g5? Bye-bye. Oops. GG. I would probably, like, check first. Would it matter? Anyway. Yeah, interesting. Interesting game. I don't agree with your playing on the queen side, but it worked out. Alright, so Arsenal fan, you're up next. I gotta find my Arsenal. Have to locate my Arsenal. Okay, I just have to go to Arsenal. I have to go to Arsenal and look up his studies. Arsenal studies. Paul versus Richard. No, I got it. Alright, this is also over the board game. Thanks for submitting this. We were supposed to get to it last week. Rich is black. c4, knight f6. Knight c3. So you've had a couple games against me where you went into this variation, but he doesn't play, you know, like, that was funny. Karpov, Korchnoi, 1978. I couldn't understand. It was really weird. Like, Korchnoi refused to play the Flormikinus variation against Karpov. That was one of the, like, move orders that happened so much in their match in 1978, and I don't understand. Like, Korchnoi had a lot of games in that line later, but he would not play it. It's the most dynamic move for white. You know, probably Arsenal is prepared now. I had a couple good games against him with that. But instead, white plays g3. This is not really a common move order. Mainly because it's not good, right? Other than that, it's great. So g3 is not good. It's amazing how bad it is for white, actually. Yeah, you're like screwed immediately. So Arsenal, you may not have known this, but d5 is actually really strong. What is white going to do? And most people will do something stupid like takes and play like d4, and then white's slightly worse. I like the score. Check out black's score after c6 here. Probably the best for white is to play d4. And I don't know what's up with this gambit. Like, pawn takes pawn, knight f3, a6, bishop g2, b5. We'll ask move 11 what he thinks. From my perspective, though, that looks like the only way white can play this that makes any sense whatsoever. He's going to have to do it this way. You're going to have to sack a pawn. Everything else just sucks. How different? It's different. The knight is misplaced on c3. So he must play it in gambit style. I don't know. It might be okay for white. It might be good. It might be practically dangerous. But if he doesn't do that, like, everything else is absolutely just trash. You know, so like you were saying for Astrobate, yeah, this is the best move. Yeah, this is really bad. Like, take, take. And now he's playing the exchange variation of the Caro-Kann. I guess white is almost equal. But look how bad his score is against c6. That's so sad. This is ridiculous. The white has won a couple games. Look at the score. c6 plus 3, 0.3 for black. It's amazing how bad this is. Because white has no plan. He has no b4. It's hard to play f3 and e4. Alright, anyway, Arsenal transposes to the symmetrical English. Because that's what he's played. Not really the greatest move order necessarily. So again, here you're supposed to play d5. So again, white should play knight f3. His move order is still inaccurate. He's got to be able to meet your d5 with d4. You know, like cd and d4. Or the semi-Tarrasch. So this is a mistake, and you can hammer him with d5. And now it's like a modern defense with colors reversed. That's the best you can. Maybe your friend, what's his name? What's the guy who does the sniper? I know he's not your friend, but he's British. Whatever that guy is who does the videos on the sniper. Like, the best way I can get here is some kind of, like, bad sniper, I guess. I mean, I don't know. A d3 or something bizarre and allowed this, and we're playing the modern in reverse. Knight takes e4, bishop takes e4. What's that British guy? The sniper. But anyway, whatever. Not important. White is worse after d5. Knight c6. Here, and that's weird. Again, white should play knight f3. Now you got it right. But unfortunately, white is equal to, I guess. It's just a draw. It's a draw. Very equal line. So there's only 2 games here. Black played CD in both of them. I don't know what else to recommend. Honestly. I don't love bishop e6. I can understand not wanting to play c takes d, because you do open up his bishop on c1. But e6, it's not a great square. It's passive. So objectively, I'd like to play something else. You have lots of options here, though. You could play it like a Nimzo. I guess that's not so great because of knight e2. That's what these guys did, though. They did play bishop b. I'm not sure. You know, h6 is an interesting move, stopping bishop g5. That way he has trouble putting pressure on your pawn. Let's see what the computer says. Damn, dude. I'm on fire. h6 number 1. But you want to stop him, you know, you want to stop him from putting pressure on your d5 pawn. This is very fundamental. If he doesn't have bishop g5, like, how is he going to effectively put pressure on your position? Bishop e6 is okay, but it's not as good. I'm right and they're wrong. What if you're right and they're wrong? That's what my poster says. In case you guys didn't know. My wall poster. Right behind me. Anyways, bishop g4 is also possible. Certainly okay. I like bishop g4. It's a bit more active than bishop e6. So the game was bishop e6 here. Rook c8. it's not a terrible move. You know, we've seen these people playing rook c8, h6, and the bishop e6 and the Tarash. Milan Paschall here played queen d7. He's a Slovak grandmaster. You know, maybe his intention is to play like rook d8 or something. I don't love this. But a3 looks weird. He has very soft squares in that position. And so now you played c4. Yeah, man. I kind of like it. You know, with the rook behind it. I wasn't really thinking about this till now. Yeah, I mean, I like this. I like this idea of supporting the queenside majority and creating a more dynamic situation in balancing the position. You've got knight a5, knight b3 sometimes. That's what you went for immediately. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this guy's problem is with castling. He really ought to try to play e4. Can he play e4 before it's too late? I guess you just like take. Take. Bishop d5. But I still feel like maybe he should try to break out or something before he gets totally run over. But c4, bishop d2, not very inspiring. Knight a5. This is weird. And he's back with knight c1. I still think that you're doing pretty well now. It's going to be really close, though. Right. And that's alright. We can come back. You know, we're not committed to knight a5 for the rest of our lives. You know, you've pushed him back. Yeah, you just have a nice wedge on the queen side. And he has nothing to show for it. Capablanca was a huge fan of this queenside majority action in the Queen's Gambit. Yeah, White's a little too passive, but he... You know, it's difficult to say exactly when it started, but he's getting really, really passive. I mean, I was suspicious when he refused to castle earlier, why he wasn't castling. Well, you got a castle too. Get the hell out of here. What are you going to do? Like, let me ask you a question. Why are you not castling in this position? You know, why queen b6 rather than castling? Is there a reason why you're not castling? Are you thinking he can start some bad stuff in the center? I mean, my only fear is central or g4. He also played queen e1, so he can squeak out there to h4. I mean, I assume you should be doing stuff like rook e8. Maybe bishop f5, bishop d3. Looks pretty scary for white. Let's say you play this, or let's say he plays f3. Maybe bishop f5, and you're coming in there. But queen b6 does have the advantage of, you know, putting pressure on d4, which could dissuade white from f3, e4. This is ridiculous. Okay, now it's like really getting ridiculous with knight g1. And now you're right where you should be. Yeah, I mean, knight g1 is insane. I mean, what's he gonna do? I mean, I guess you are threatening b4. It's true. Maybe your position's just good anyway. And this is an atrocity. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I see his plans to like go here. But I can't believe he can do this. This looks right. And now what? Maybe you have rook e8. Then knight f3. That position you might have some problem breaking through. Now he has this. This is tricky. It looks like you're killing him, and then suddenly he puts pressure on your d5 pawn. So will the engine tell us like 97 and black is totally winning like it did the other? Yeah, bishop d3 is possible. The problem is if rook f2, we can't play knight g4. Well, we can, but I mean, this is going to be a good exchange sac, I assume. It's a reasonable exchange sacrifice. Take, 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 queen d8. I think that his position is better than it was before. I mean, at least there's some hope now for white. He's sacrificed an exchange, but he's got a nice big center, and there's some practical chances. Probably Arsenal's winning here. It's minus 1.5. Yeah, 1.6. But practically, he's still alright. Zell Poker, thank you. Guys, we're going to wrap it up with a few more games. So Arsenal just simply went here. This is a problem in the sense that he's going to be able to take and, you know, shut down your pressure on the file. It still doesn't end this queenside advance, though. Now, so I would think he would take here. I would think he would take. You would take with a knight. He would take. You would take with a pawn. And you're better. And you still have like this b4 advance. Maybe like knight here, knight here. But it's not so easy. It's not so easy. But I don't think he should leave you in control of e4. Maybe his move is interesting. b4 now is possible. That's the game. Yeah, knight e4, knight e4, knight e5. So, are we okay here? Everything's under control. He's starting a fork. Are you dropping a pawn? OMG? I mean, I think the first thing we need to seriously consider here is capturing with like bishop takes e5. F. But I really am not sure what's going on here. He's in the game. He's a little more in the game than I really wanted him to be. I mean, I guess you could play a different move. Queen b5. If you had to. Man, queen b5 is up there. But apparently you have c3. Whoa. Really? How does that work? c3, take. How does this work? I don't understand. B takes c, bishop takes. Knight c3. What am I missing? Oh, you're just taking on e5. You're winning a piece. Wow. So he has to play bishop c1. I mean, your pawn is pretty extended. But yeah, this is a totally different ball game now. You could play, you could lose the exchange and maybe still have something. But I guess, yeah, I mean, you could do something like this again, where the pawn is like poisoned and it's backed up by this rook indirectly. So you're still clearly better. This was a tough position though. This is a disaster. Now you're pawn down. You were like practically winning. You gotta consider knight takes, but rook takes a5. I mean, I would at least look at this. But truthfully, his bishop is blocked in. That's a nice move. I mean, you got a very solid blockade in your you know, good knight versus bad bishop. His bishop's not so bad, actually. It's a draw, objectively. Draw-ish. You're lucky you didn't lose, though, after that blunder. You might win this yet. Very strong queen. He's got weaknesses around his king. But, I mean, I think here, like, I would play h5. I mean, you've got to make sure you don't get mated on the back rank, but also the idea of attacking his king might need a little help from the pawns. I think you're in pretty good shape here. Computer says it's equal. Knight d8 is one of the top moves. My move is number one. No, my move is fighting with your move for number one. Arsenal and I are great. Now we've been overridden by h6, though. Who likes h6? h5 and knight d8. Knight d8 maneuvering. That's why you didn't want to play h5. Damn, dude. Seriously? Are you serious? It's a good thing you didn't play h5. He gave up the 7th rank, man. I mean, you were going to take it anyway, but you have to watch the back rank. If only you had played h5, this wouldn't be possible. It's kind of funny. And I think that's it. Alright, that was a lopsided finish, though. It would have been interesting if he had played better at the end. Alright, Arsenal. Good game. We've got, let's see. Back to my study. Gotta be back tomorrow morning, guys, with Blitz challenges in the morning at 11 a.m. CEST. Thanks to those of you who supported the stream. Mule Skinner sent me a game, and then I've got Move 11 and Delver. So quickly, guys, these late subscribers or late submissions are going to be a little bit shorter. I have about 20 minutes left. So, Mule Skinner sent me a study I couldn't put in there. Here. Oh, Cooking Rooks. Did I put your game in? Did you send me your game? When did you send me your game? Cooking Rooks is like, what about my game? It's in there? It's in the study? Well, if it's in the study, I'm going to do it. But I forgot it was in there. Yeah, I forgot it was in there. Sorry. Yeah, obviously you're on the list. You're next, technically. But I think Mule Skinner sent his in first. Alright. We'll do Mule Skinner and then Cooking Rooks. Yeah, sorry. Forgot you're on the list there. 4 games to go. I'm going to need another beer at this rate. Where are we? Losing my mind. Mule Skinner. Decent rapid game. 5+5. Sometimes people like Mule Skinner, Move 11. I can't. There's some setting that I can't grab the games when I try to see. There's no study feature there. I'm not a contributor. So anyway. Mule Skinner is white. We've got the Grand Prix attack. E6 is a good move. Knight f3, d5, bishop b5. Great Lazarus, I joined late. Don't know if my game was analyzed. Gonna check whole stream later. Great Lazarus, when did you submit a game? Who did you submit it to? D takes e4, bishop takes c6, b takes c, knight takes e4, knight f6, d3, bishop a6. What? Hold on. So this is bad. That's weird. I thought d takes e4 was okay, but it's not. To me. I got no notification. When did you send it to me? Oh, there it is. 2 hours ago. Well, I don't know. Was it really 2 hours ago? No. This couldn't have been 2 hours ago. Why does it say 2 hours ago? It says yesterday? Why does it say 2 hours ago if you sent it to me yesterday? You sent it in Tuesday, and that's not yesterday either. Alright, that's bizarre. The messaging system here is horrifying. I put it in there. But that's the last one. I don't care if God himself comes to the stream and says he's a tier 3 subscriber. I can't do more games than that. It was yesterday, 2 hours ago, apparently. Anyway, okay. Bishop e5, d takes e4 is a mistake. Alright, so he's supposed to play knight and e7. Right. There is no other move. Yeah, okay. You have to play knight e7 here. This is a big mistake. The structure's smashed. Knight takes e4. Wow, a recent Larson game, 2002. Now knight f6. This is probably a reasonable try. An interesting choice, d3 by white. And Mule Skinner's an expert on the Grand Prix attack. Plays it very well. Though I wouldn't think you'd get this exact position. You know, you get it once, you look it up. Obviously, this would be a fantastic endgame if black trades knights. Well, this is actually Larson's game he's following. Probably knowingly. Yeah, I mean, queen e2 is pretty natural. But anyway, this is interesting. Like, takes, 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 takes. And that bishop is not looking good. I mean, that's the problem, right? This bishop. So black played bishop a6. So our job is to kill that bishop. You could play knight f6 and like c4. It's pretty extreme. Mule Skinner did something similar but more patiently. Queen e2. The idea to play this. To make him not have a bishop anymore. So we transposed to a Chernayev game. Where Alex played c4. We played in the 1993 New York Open with Chernayev. Me and my other self. Yeah, man, c4 is good. Mule Skinner played castle first. It's probably fine. So long as black doesn't have c4. I don't think there's any problem with that. I mean, he could play like this, and queen d5. But it's still bad for black. I mean, even like this, what is black going to do? Maybe he gets in c4. That's the one thing we don't want to let happen. This is a little bit of a problem. So it looks like Chernev's move order is of relatively high importance. You could have been facing takes and queen d5. This is inaccurate. But he just lets you do it anyway. And now we transpose back. Yeah, now black is like lost. He's just lost. I would think b3. Like b3 before there's any issue. I'm not sure if that exchange matters. Like, objectively, I don't think this is a problem. But it's true, maybe his knight isn't that great. This is pretty strong here. Now black is really dead. I mean, not only does he not have a bishop, but he's going to get attacked on the king's side. Wow. It's over. Beautiful attack. So we don't even win by virtue of the non-existent piece. We just directly win. Knight g7. Nice. And if e5... I don't think black's going to survive there. Yeah, good game. You like knight f2? Knight f2 is snazzy. In which position? Like here? Earlier. Anyway, good game. Standard, but it looks like you have a little improvement there. You know, you have to play c4 like Chernayev. Alright, Newell Skinner. Must improve Grand Prix attack. Yeah, he knows his stuff. Must improve the move order. Alright, back to the study. Where's my study? Got a little lag going on. It says 63 ping. My computer doesn't like the 85. This notebook doesn't like the 85 degree Fahrenheit temperature we've got going on in September, apparently. Not happy about that. Where are my studies? Study! Why is the study not on the top? What the heck? Recently updated. Dude, it's not my study. Right. Thanks, Yabatis. Alright, we got Mule Skinner out of the way. Arsenal's done. So now it's just the guys on the list. Cooking Rooks, Move 11, Delver, and Great Lazarus. Ooh, we gotta hurry up. Alright, Cooking Rooks. Yeah, we did 11 games today. Cooking Rooks is black. The Bodler attack. I know that people play this. This is a little annoying. E5. Although it's probably not great. It would be better to play like this, this, and then this. That's a more serious variation. So that's kind of a bad version. Actually, the e6 you played here, Cooking Rooks, is like Catronius's. I think it was Catronius's recommendation to play this sort of setup for anti-Sicilians. Yeah, the idea to play bishop b5. So now we're transposing to a Sozin, or not. White should play knight takes d4. And then black probably should play a6. But instead, he takes the queen. Now this is messed up. He's playing like a Moscow variation with his bishop on c4 instead of on b5. So that shouldn't be really great for white. That's a tempo down now. So I think you should definitely play bishop d7. It's more compact, and it doesn't let your pawn structure get broken up. a6 lets him do this, like take and e5, cracking your pawn structure. And your bishop's kind of restricted by the pawns. I'm not in love with this. This is an important move. Definitely bishop d7. Alternatively, you could play queen c7, but I don't think it's as dynamic. I mean, this is probably better. He's a tempo down in a book position now, after bishop c6, bishop c6. a6 not as good. Alright, take, and exactly, e5. Now he breaks your pawn structure. Now, objectively, we gotta consider knight to d5. Yeah. I'm a little worried about 95, 94. Maybe now, like, c5. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, our bishop can get out. We're probably okay. I assume. You know, so maybe not. Maybe white should just take here. What's happening? White's better. But only by 1/10 of a centipawn. It's impressive that the 1450 player finds e5 instantly. Yes. Yeah, I don't think at the 2000 level that would be impressive. My experience is that most people, weaker players, are very bad with pawn play. Some relatively intermediate players are quite bad with pawn play. They don't even know what pawns are. Those things that get to the other side of the board that become queens. e5, c5. This move's probably okay. Again, the priority is that our bishop gets good. Check. No problem. This is also probably a reasonable move. Queen f4. Nice square for the queen, actually. That's pretty subtle. I mean, he drew your bishop to d7, and now c6 will be covered by his knight on e5. And you have no choice. You can't play queen d7, you're dropping a piece. So your only other option is that, which looks really convoluted. I saw, oh yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff with ratings. Yeah, this guy's playing really well. But this is a good move. But I think that now you gotta content yourself. If you can equalize, you're happy. But I'll have these like people, Great Lazarus, who are like, the weirdest stuff happens. Like you're playing someone who's 1500, and they play like 20 perfect moves, and then they just like drop a piece. It's like, what? How could you play 20 perfect moves and then just make the most absurd blunder ever, you know? Yeah, this is good. This is good. So see what this guy does now? He played a perfect opening. And now he's gonna drop a piece. Nice job by cooking rooks, though. Bishop d6 is a good move. Does he have this? No, because we're taking last. Yeah, so white has to be really careful. He has to play, I guess, queen e3. You want to explain me how? Want me to explain how? Intuition isn't calculation. The battery ran out on his phone. Castles. Queen c7. And now the problem is, okay, obviously rook e1. Dude, that's the only move. Can he be alright here after rook e1? He's okay. Instead, he's like, no, I'm going to play queen g5 and sack a piece. Interesting. And now cooking rooks did knight d5. Knight d5, knight d5, pawn d5, rook e1. Jeez. OMG. Man, are you screwed here or what? Poor cooking rooks. He played knight d5, knight d5, pawn d5, and the guy has this move. What are you gonna do? You just lost the piece back, and you're hosed. You have to castle queenside, and your king is like living in a house that's been like torn apart by Hurricane Katrina. This is a disaster. Your pawn structure is just gone. You're lucky if you get a draw. But man, you had rook g8. And it's just game over. You gotta remember this move. You just, he started chess like 8 months ago, basically, and he doesn't know like common sort of themes. Black's just winning. It's game over. Damn. I checked out your game, Yo Skinner. There's a major improvement in the opening when you played castles. White has to play c4 first. That was the most important takeaway. He misses rook e1, queen g5, and now you're like, you did something very similar in another recent game. Irrelevant pawn move. Here you can't castle, and you can't castle. And king f8 doesn't look like the safest, but let me tell you, if I have to, look, when I'm up a piece, we'll do what we have to do. If you have to play king f8, it's okay, man. We're up a whole bishop. Your king is relatively safe here, and you can bring the bishop back to g7, and you're totally winning. You do have bishop e6 though. I guess this is a really simple solution. Block the line, and you're probably fine. It's a nice poem. Guys, remember that. All right, we're gonna save that for later. Block the line and you're probably fine. We'll start little rhymes and stuff. We can start a rap song. Yeah. F6 looks dangerous. I don't like weakening our pawns more. You're winning after F6, but it's legit a little dangerous. Yeah, you could do F6 here, king d8, and walk over here. Have no fear. I'm getting tired, guys. But this is bad. This is dangerous. Dude, your king is in the middle of the board with an open file. And you're farting around playing like d4. This is a matter of perspective. Your king is sitting in the middle of the board and you're just like, oh, I'll play d4. You might as well play like a5 or something. It's equally irrelevant. I mean, this is the issue. The king is in the middle of the board. Make sure it gets to safety somehow, or protect its position where it is. This bishop here, walking your king up to d7, relatively safe. This move, f6, walking the king over to d8, relatively safe. But king like just chilling on the open file is not a safe bet. Okay, d4, f4. Oops. And now, King of Fate is a little different now, without the option to play bishop g7. He misses rook e1 check. Okay, there you still have bishop e6. But he's still going to win a piece back with f5. But I mean, this isn't that bad, actually. Maybe king d7 or something. I don't know. Like here, at least, you got protection from your pawns to some degree. I don't mind giving that piece back if our king is somewhat safe. So the game was actually f4, bishop d6, what? And now you castle and he resigns? That's an interesting choice. I was thinking maybe castle kingside. You know, understandably you're a little worried about maybe f5. But it's not enough for white. You can play this and just hide out on h8. And your rooks are coming to the g file. You're winning. This is more dangerous. I don't believe the guy didn't play queen a8 check. And then he takes on a6. Now you have to play king c7. And I don't want to know what's happening after bishop d2. I don't want to know what's happening here. This doesn't look safe, but you're probably still alright. Here, check, king d7, take the exchange. Black's still better. Yeah. But it's a game. It's a game now. So castles queenside, queen b8, queen a6. He plays queen f7, which is irrelevant. Rook f8. Nice. Check. Let's trade some queens. Thank you. Rook e1, trade the queens, please. Thank you. And now we got him. Don't be afraid to like bust in on the 7th rank. No. I like h5, h4. He has a threat of c3 maybe? Alright, a5's not that bad. b3. Yeah, no. I mean, I think you should get down there. This is weird. Probably bishop g4. You want to get his king in a mating net. Maybe bishop g4. You got him, though. You got him. And then he just hangs a rook. Check. Take the rook, please. You got it. Oh. Is that a tricky mate or something? It's not mate. It was a very strange exchange of pieces. But he never really got out of control. Nice. Alright, that was an adventure. Next game. This is serious stuff. This is Mate... Bagi Mate against move 11. Mate is a Hungarian IM. He's quite a strong player. d4, knight f6, knight c3. He's playing Borisov. d5, Jabava system. Now move 11 with c5. We've looked at this. e3. I believe so. I don't really know Mate. I met him like once. But he does seem like a good player. So, what time is it, guys? We gotta go quick through these last games. I normally do CD. There's also A6. This seems like the best move. I had a million games with this against Jababa himself once. But I'm thinking I played bishop g4. I don't know if I don't know why knight c6 is more popular than bishop g4. Damn, that's weird. The engine is like bishop d7, knight a8, triple exclam. That's the best move. That is ridiculous. The computer variation is bishop d7, bishop d3. Get the F out of here. Baggio is a fan of football, maybe. His name is Mati Baghi. So that's insane. The engine's #1 move is bishop d7. Alright, whatever. So I'm turning off engine. Thank you. Queen d2. Yeah, I mean, this seems kind of weird to play bishop g4 now. And we're not pinning anything. That doesn't seem right. Move 11 did the reverse stockfish. He didn't do bishop d7, bishop g4. He did bishop g4, bishop d7. You got it reversed, move 11. The engine said you should play bishop d7 first, and then bishop g4. That's funny, man. It's like the inverse. I mean, whatever. If we can get rid of this knight, we're happy, but now we can't because he'll take with the pawn and we lose our center. I'm not sure we've achieved anything here. This might be an idea. Obviously, like rook c8. I don't understand why he's exchanging on c6. I mean, we've seen this stuff. Knight e2, knight c1, knight d3, knight e5. Why does he have to exchange on c6 now? It seems like a strange move. And that's what he... No, he went the other way. You got this. Just to claim the bishop is badly placed. I mean, he's trading off his monster knight on e5. Black has bishop e5. I mean, honestly, you could play this. I mean, can white really claim an advantage here? I guess it's like kind of an unpleasant pawn structure to play with. Computer says that black is better. Wow. What would Petrosian do? No, I don't think that bishop's bad anymore, Arsenal fan. Hey, it's not bad anymore. So technically, the computer thinks he should start advancing the pawns. But I'm skeptical of knight takes c6. I don't think that seems right. Alright, take. Here, he gave you bishop e5. Instead you played this, which blocks the b pawn, but it does support the idea of bishop b5. So you thought white would play a4, which is interesting. Definitely. That gets our debate about playing on the opponent's side or whatever again. But I think white here can play on both sides of the board. a4 is definitely a legit move. Plays this, and now you just have bishop e5. So it's not an exciting position, but I think that black is fine. If I had to pick a side, maybe I would choose black. Computer is calling it at 0.0 in all three variations. Yeah, I mean, this way, you know, he can't castle. That's pretty messed up. I mean, clearly his knight's coming back to the game. What's wrong with king f2? That's a typical English chess player thing to do. I think everything's a Paschall. Alright, bishop b5, king f2, knight f2, bishop f1, rook f1, bishop e7, knight d3, knight d7. Move 11, played knight d7. He castles queenside. The true Jabavaist. See, that's why he didn't play king f2. He was planning to castle queenside the whole time. I don't know if I like queen a5. I feel like you want that pawn to be mobile. Queen a5 seems wrong. Yeah, this is a mistake, definitely. You don't want to get in the way of your pawns. Your minority attack is the whole thing here. Yeah, you lost a move. So black's like better now. Or is he? Definitely b4. I thought he might take. I don't know which way to take. Bishop takes is also possible. All three captures are possible here. This is the most aggressive. It looks like you might have rook a2. Whoa! Welcome to outer space. Anyway, guys, I gotta go quickly. You might be threatening something serious here with rook takes a2. So he's not messing around. This looks awkward. Yeah, I'm not sure about your pawn capture. Computer likes it. Okay. Here, b3, rook a3 I don't like. Rook fc8. I agree. Like I don't know why the computer is so excited. It's not clear to me that black's really better. But this looks a little dangerous. Like you're ceding the c file to him. I don't know if I like that. You're sort of like stuck now. Wow. Are you kidding me? The guy's a tactical genius. Yeah. Very clean. Check. Wow. Yeah, that was tragic. Rook a7 was a blunder. But I don't like the way you stacked up on the a file, you know. You gave him the open file for a half open one where you couldn't break through. Alright, but instructive game. Alright. We got Delver and Grey Lazarus. Delver's white. It's Caro Kann. Advance. Bishop f5. h4. I started playing a6. I like it. h5 is main line. Bishop g5 is main line. Queen b6 is main line. Bishop d3. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm out of my book now. So this is all theory. Bishop takes d3. Queen takes d3. Weren't you saying today this... Let's see, move 11 knows a little bit about this variation. It's some major main line. Yeah, my friend Gellert used to play this kind of stuff. So you're trapping the queen on a1, like queen b3. How does it work? Here? You're not trapping it. He has queen d4. Okay, this is like just all computer analysis. I mean, obviously white is threatening queen takes b7. But I mean, black's up a rook. Wow. So apparently white's just winning. And the major decent players have gotten this position. I wouldn't play queen takes b2 though. I don't even play queen b6. It is the best move according to the computer, but I don't know, man. Queen takes d4 here. I had a similar game. Isn't this a problem? So queen takes d4 is good. Knight f3, queen g4. I had a very similar game. Yeah. I had a game with a6 in against somebody who tried to play it the same way. Very, very similar. c4. With the idea of queen b3. But this line is way better than queen takes b2. It looks like this is the real deal. You gotta do this. This is a serious problem. I mean, I don't know. Castles. Castles, bishop d3, queen d3, and then white has not won a single game here. But in the game, b6 is not good, apparently. You can trap his queen now, for real. He's just gone. I mean, okay, he got 2 rooks, but I mean, look at his rooks. Look at his pieces on the back rank. He has no pieces. I mean, his bishop and his 2 rooks. He basically has 2 knights, and the other pieces can't even move. That's so sick. There's got to be a way to get in there to like mate him on f7. There you go. Alright, very convincing. Last game is Great Lazarus against Ver Clicker. The Clicker. It's a Kalashnikov with, I don't know, man. What is that? Jabava. What a surprise. The somewhat unusual knight f3. So it looks like bizarre. Bishop takes f5 in the other line. Have to check that out. The retreat variation. Yeah, knight f6 looks good. Yeah, this is strange. Is this really playable? Knight f6 is good. So you're like slightly worse with white. Yeah, why doesn't he just like take on c3? I mean, I would assume you take here, and black is a little better. I think your opponent is greedy, you know. Why is he letting you off the hook there? I mean, can he do something here? Maybe it's nothing. Yeah, maybe this isn't so good either. Bishop g4 is good as well. Igor Zaitsev played h3 and lost. Yeah, this doesn't look great either. Queen e2 though. Idea e4. Interesting. Maybe best move. What's your threat? Queen e4. What's your name? Oh no. He has knight f6 though. So queen e4 immediately, knight f6. You take here. Sacking the queen. Wow. You get 3 pieces for the queen, and your structure remains sound. But I mean, these are kind of precariously placed. I'm not sure that this is necessarily good for white. I'm really not sure. You know, we're pretty like worried about those hanging pieces here. He doesn't take another pawn with queen b2. This must be a fast game. 10-minute. Is that a problem? Yes. Relatively significant blunder. But the funny part is, okay, you have to play e3 then. I mean, he has to play e3. Give his e-pawn away, right? He didn't want to give it to you. Man, that's funny. This is literally the only move. What's the evaluation? Plus 2.8. It's unbelievable. That's really unbelievable. I mean, e3, knight takes e3, plus 2.8. We have knight, and bishop for a queen. And white is better by 2 plus something. That's unbelievable. Really? Plus 2. As if like 3 minor pieces is automatically better than a queen. Instructive. Wow. So he got his queen trapped with that. And now 3 pieces is too much for a rook for sure. That I'm certain of. There's still a possibility of this though. Yeah, that's not good. Game over. It's amazing though, the evaluation, how really like what looks like straight up 3 pieces for the queen is so much better for white there. That's striking. Good job, Great Lazarus. I don't know about that opening though. I don't think this is a serious line. Queen takes d5. Also, keep him out of book with knight f3. Alright everybody, we're going to be back tomorrow. It's been a late one. Thanks everyone for watching, for supporting the stream. And we'll be back Friday morning at 11 a.m. CST. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Thanks to all of you for supporting us. See you on Friday. Bye-bye.